What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going over the new levers that I got for our project S1000rr. Let's go take a look at what we got. Alright, so we have our beautiful HP levers. These are folding and they are adjustable. Does come with these two spacers, if you want to call it that, or bushings or whatever, that probably go in there so that when the bolt goes through it's nice and solid and it's not moving all over the place. But yeah, so we're going to start with these. And if you know anything about the real hp4s, they come with these levers, so we got these to match the whole scheme. These are made by Gillies and these are really nice, pretty good stuff. Alright, so we're first going to start with the brake lever. As you can see, these are probably some aftermarket China ones I think that were on here. So we're going to take these off. You want to make sure that you get a flathead. Obviously the thicker the better. You can see that they had one that was kind of maybe a little too skinny. It kind of made a little mark on the bolt. So obviously you want one that's the thickest that's going to fit into there. There is a nut on the bottom of here. That is a 10 millimeter. So I'm going to first put the rag over here in case I lose the nut. At least it will fall into the rag, and then we'll start taking this off. Alright, so we got our lock nut off. You can see there's a certain way that it's supposed to go. They do suggest to put a little bit of thread locker back on this bolt when you put the nut on, so just remember to do that. Keep using your flathead screwdriver until this turns out. Eventually you'll feel this start to come out of place, and then you could just kind of hold the lever and pull the bolt out. I'm actually going to clean this up and then put some grease on there. I don't think they say that in the manual, but anytime there's something like this, I just like to put some grease on it so that, there's no holdups from the bolt. Hold your lever and continue to screw this out until the bolt comes out, and the lever just slides right out. You're gonna have to push it forward a little bit, and it comes right out. So something you want to also look at before you put this in is that this thing has a spring on there, as you can see, and more than likely when you cut this may come apart, so you're gonna have to hold it together. There is a indent for the sensor, which is right there. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll have that little lever part sticking out. Obviously that goes right into here. So this thing wasn't as spring-loaded as I thought it would be when I took off the little zip tie. The way to get the sensor into here, when you're putting this in from up here, push this up with your hand and just guide the lever into place so it goes into the hole. We have our screws screwed in. This is supposed to be torqued to 1 Newton meter, so just make it snug. And obviously on the back side where the thread is, we'll put a little bit of thread locker and then we'll put the nut on. You're supposed to tighten the nut to 6 Newton meters. So there is a right and a wrong way to put this nut on. Obviously the flat part should be going up and this part should be pointing towards the ground, where you can kind of see almost a washer on there. Now we're just testing the lever to make sure that it retracts completely like it should. Next, to get the clutch lever off, you're gonna have to turn the adjuster in as much as possible and make sure that you have a line where you can see the cable going through there, because you're gonna have to pull it out. You obviously wanna adjust your lever to make it as short as possible. So in this case, it's over here. As you can see, we have this line now. There is a nut under this bolt. To get a better angle at it, I'm going to use my T30 and loosen this up so I could swing the bracket up a little bit. As you can see, we have a much better space to work in now where we can get our nut loose. Pay attention to how the clutch lever works on the switch, because obviously when you install the other lever, you have to make sure that it goes back in the same way. There is a washer that's underneath this nut, so make sure you don't lose that. We have our lever out. To get it out, I just kind of took the lever and kind of pulled it out like this, and then I was able to unhook it from the perch. Now I'm going to unhook this from here. I'm going to lube the cable. Right, we got our rag in place because obviously you don't want any of the lube to get on any part of the bike. We'll probably put another shirt or something over the dash just to make sure that's covered as well. But if you don't know how to do this, I'll leave a link in the description below because I've done videos on it, but I'm not going to get this on video now. So on this lever, for this clutch bolt to fit in here without any slop, you're going to have to take a socket of a small size, put it in here, and kind of push out the old bushing. And then you can put one of these new ones in or the one that you had before. As you can see, we got half of it out. I'm just going to push the rest of it out with the new bushing. All right, so something that I did to make it easier when I had the cable out was I turned this lever upside down so I was able to put it into the slot easily, and then I just lined it up and it was a lot easier than expected to get it into place. I did have the cable kind of resting up on top of here before I got it in place, and I used just something like this to just pry it over, and I was able to slide it right in. Put blue Loctite on the threads before you put the nut on. All right, we got the lever in place. The nut is pretty tight. We're gonna tighten that to 8 Newton meters right now. I don't remember exactly what the torque spec was for that, so I just made it pretty nice and snug. It's not gonna cause too much of an issue. Obviously, don't over tighten it. All right, last but not least, make sure you turn on the bike or turn the light on. Make sure you have functioning brake light when you press the lever.